I did not expect to have to do this video so soon, but here we are. Welcome to my Five Nights at Freddy's movie pre-write. I have not seen the trailer for the movie yet, but we are going to jump right into this. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. We start on an extremely rainy night outside of the Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria as lightning strikes and ambiance plays in the background. We cut to the inside where people are eating pizza, playing arcade games, having a good time, and animatronics are roaming around entertaining the people. We then see a security puppet animatronic by the doorway. It's looking out for a green wristband specifically, and it sees a child banging with a green wristband on her wrist. We see the POV behind this child as a car pulls up. The puppet then sees the child exit the frame of the window. And we cut to black. Blumhouse Pictures presents. Quick pause here before we get into the rest of the movie. There is a trilogy of Five Nights at Freddy's movies that Matthew Lillard has signed on for. I think they're going to try to end this trilogy with the ending from Ultimate Custom Night. If they don't end it right there, then like, what's the point of adapting a Five Nights at Freddy's screenplay? Because that ending was just brilliant. So in order to set that up, you're going to need Henry or Hank's motivation in his dead daughter. So I'm going to get that out of the way in this first movie here. We then have our intro and our title drop, where in the background, it's like in the video game The Last of Us, when the intro kind of had like news reports about the zombie outbreak, but instead it's going to be news reports about the bad PR around the Fazbear Entertainment brand and the closing of a few stores like Fredbear's Family Diner, and that'll just kind of catch the audience up to speed on the current state of this company. The beginning news reports will also go over the 5 missing children incidents too. We have our title drop, and then we're introduced to Mike Schmidt, who, come on, let's be real. It's Michael Afton. He gets a job at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to help support his family. Let's be real, they're all Aftons. In my theoretical movie here, Mrs. Afton pretty much just gives him the job. In my theoretical version of the movie, Mrs. Afton is working for Freddy Fazbear's and is kind of the behind-the-scenes person cleaning up all of William's messes. Anyways, Michael gets the job. He tours Freddy's in the daytime with Vanessa, who is confirmed to be in this movie. We get creepy introductions for each animatronic, and Mike notices as they're touring parts and service, the roof is leaking. That's important. First night, Michael is there, nothing much happens. He messes around in the office a little bit, maybe finds the squeaky Freddy nose. We obviously have Scott Cawthon come back as phone guy. Perfect casting right there. But there is one scene that I wrote here and I like, and I want this to happen. Michael is kind of searching around on the newspapers that are hanging up in the building. Maybe those flashbacks can be in that scene. He can see the newspapers about the missing children. But as he's doing this, he very casually looks over and he sees Bonnie standing off stage, staring down at him. And then we cut to the next night. I kind of want the daytime to kind of focus on William Afton and then the nighttime to focus on Mike in this little pre-write. During the day, we can have William Afton doing his evil child murder thing. We can kind of have the rift between Hank and William beginning there. And then night 2. This night is a little more intense with the animatronics moving around a little more. You can have a really creepy scene of the pots and pans clanging. And then we can use that like iconic Bonnie moaning sound effect where he's like, Michael also learn a little more about the usage of power and put together a little more of what his father is actually hiding from him. I want the movie to really take advantage of the fact that it's a movie and it's not a linear game where you have to sit and survive. I know that's a huge part of the culture around Five Nights at Freddy's, but I think it would be really cool to have Michael get up and leave the office at points during the movie, and I think this is a good place to have that. So at one point, Mike leaves the office, maybe to check out the pots and pans clanging around. We have a shot where the camera's here facing him, and over his shoulder, we see the curtain to Pirate's Cove, and a hook wraps around it as the curtains silently pull back. But before anything happens, he looks behind him and he sees nothing. Okay, night 3. This will be a bit more intense as we're building to the climax of the movie. He kind of has a thought out plan of how to use his power, but it's all gonna get thrown out the window when he hears a chuckle. His whole plan gets thrown off as the animatronics overwhelm him and his power gets dangerously low. He shuts all the doors, but the power is just getting lower and lower as the clock is at 5 a.m. There are animatronics at both windows crowding it as we hear the chime go off. Night 4 goes pretty similarly, but Mike is kind of a pro this time around. Foxy has a moment to shine, ultimately getting stopped by the door. This time, though, the animatronics overwhelm him again. With the clock at 5:59 a.m., the power goes out. Mike stands stiff and silent as the Toreador March begins to play. He sees the face of Freddy Fazbear light up to the tune of the song. Mike silently cries as the song plays, saying to himself, "Come on, come on." Freddy's chime ends, and everything is silent. But then, once again, the 6 a.m. chime plays, and Mike falls to his knees, sobbing on the floor. The day after the 4th night, Mike receives the iconic pink slip being fired because Vanessa is blaming the odor of the animatronics on him. Vanessa instead takes this last night shift. In between when the night guard gets there and when the store closes, I want to have the iconic minigame from Five Nights at Freddy's 3 where the purple guy is dismantling the animatronics in fear. And then he goes back to parts and service. In parts and service lies the old Fredbear suit, Golden Freddy, but also the old Golden Bonnie suit, Springtrap. He climbs into that suit, the same suit he used to lure the children back, to try and scare the souls away from him. And like I said, the roof is leaking in parts and service. The springs lock onto William Afton, turning him into Springtrap. He collapses on the floor, and then night 5 commences. Vanessa walks through the restaurant slowly once she gets there. She searches and finds parts of each animatronic lying around the restaurant. She enters the office confused and checks the cameras for anyone else in the building. She first cycles through and sees nothing, but as she keeps looking, the door to parts and service is now open. The final night becomes the regular Five Nights at Freddy's deal, but now she's defending against Springtrap. Sees the poster on the wall be replaced with one of Golden Freddy. She starts to see flashes across the camera. It's me. And as Vanessa puts her camera down, she sees Golden Freddy laying in the office. She screams a horrible, blood-curdling scream, then the power goes out. The camera follows from behind as a shadowy figure enters a room that almost looks like an interrogation room, with a singular light and a table in the center. On the table sits a rotary phone. The figure sits and dials a number. After 6 a.m., back at the pizzeria, the lights come back on, and we're in a POV shot, slowly crawling across the floor in the right entrance of the office. We crawl past a limp arm of Vanessa on the floor, and a pool of blood if the PG-13 rating allows it, and toward a phone hanging from the desk, which begins to ring. The camera zooms all the way into the phone, and right before it stops, we cut to the face of the shadowy figure from before, Hank, or Henry, who hears a voice answer on the other end, and it's William. The two of them have a hostile and symbolic talk to each other about the murder of Henry's daughter, the Afton's grip on the Fazbear Entertainment, and how Henry won't rest until William Afton is taken down. "I'll make sure you're never able to come back and hurt another child again," Henry says to his old friend. There's a brief silence between the two, before we cut to a shot of Springtrap, in his full glory, standing in the office on the phone. "I always come back." He drops the phone and exits the office, cutting to black. Bang, 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 bang. This pre-write of the movie sets up a lot of things, and it leaves a lot of cliffhangers, and that's intentional. I think that if this trilogy were to end with that scene from Ultimate Custom Night, a second Five Nights at Freddy's movie would have to be based around the story of Sister Location, and have it end with Mike getting scooped in the whole, "I'm going to come find you." And this is a discussion for another video. If you guys want to see that, let me know. All of this to say, thank you guys for watching this pre-write. I hope you guys enjoyed it. See you later. End credits! Oh my. The after credits have Henry in the same room we left him, talking on a recording tape. This is foreshadowing his involvement in Pizzeria Simulator, by the way. I'm impressed. His grip seems to never slip, and his torment continues. I don't know what else to do. My mind isn't right. I've made something terrible. Henry's hands quiver, and his voice trembles. Her name is Baby. Suddenly, the lights flicker out, and we hear but one last thing.
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone, please stay in your seats.
Oh my gosh, that would be chilling. At the end of the day, I love the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, and I really hope this movie does it justice. These are just the ramblings of a fan. For the life of me, I hope this movie is good. That would be so awesome. But I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you've made it this far, don't forget to drop a like, and if you feel like it, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to tap that bell to know when I post more crap on YouTube. Peace out. See you guys later.
Waiting every night to finally roll it. Invite newcomers to play with